I'm Jordan Godwin. I'm Boyd Hilda, and this is a 2025 course preview. Simple session. This year's course is really big and really fast, and out of the whole thing, the gap to kink rail is probably my favorite, just because it has the kicker at the top, which makes it a little bit safer than real street kink rails. And you can have a session and try to figure out what grind you want to do.
Now to check out the parkside. Mate, this thing is massive, plenty of options, but my favorite feature is actually the whole thing. It links together all well, feels like trails out there. It's gonna be sick. Whip up.
Two incredible riders there showing what this course has to offer, both of them having qualified for the finals as well. Unfortunately, Jordan Godwin feeling a bit under the weather, so he's going to be replaced today, but Boyd Hilda will be riding, and it's time to check out our top 15 riders into the finals today. I'm delighted to hand down to Simple Session host Andy Zeiss, and Daryl is down with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wonderful and good-looking people here in the Unibat Arena, Tallinn, Estonia 2025. Can I please get a big round of applause? What do you guys say? Wow, wow, wow. It feels so amazing being back in the living room, in the main room, in the Unibat Arena. But it's not about me. You've been hearing me yelling all day yesterday, and it was an epic, epic battle for 15 spots in the final. And those 15 spots are gathered behind me as we speak, and we're going to introduce them to you in very shortly. But before we go, I want to give a big, big maximum shout out. You know him, you love him. Please welcome my brother from another mother from Brooklyn, New York. Make some noise for the wonderful Daryl now.
Thank you, Tallinn, Estonia. You are one of the most beautiful crowds because you bring the energy and support for the riders. Well, we know throughout all of Simple Session 25, he's been on the mic so far. So can we put our hands together for my German brother, the Z-Man, Andy Zeiss?
Thank you for the lovely words, brother. It means a lot. But as I said earlier, yesterday's qualification was something for the history books. We've seen some new faces here in the riders lineup, and 15 riders made that cut for today's qualifier. And I have the pleasure, together with you, to introduce them to the world. First rider, replacing none other than Jordan Godwin. As we see right now, Jordan Godwin, unfortunately, is out of competition. He's getting replaced from Cordoba, Argentina. Make some noise for Ezekiel Hemreich.
Your next rider, coming from Hastings, UK, 25 years old, Stuart Chisholm.
You keep that noise going, Tallinn, Estonia. You know him, you love him. He's a Simple Session All-Star. Holds multiple championship titles already. Give it up for the Goldie Boy, Boyd Hilda.
Your next athlete, 19 years old, from Scarborough, UK. First time at Simple Session, Miller Temple.
Another first timer here to Simple Session with only 17 years of age. He is in fact the brother of the podium girl, Miharu Otsawa, yesterday. Give it up for the Japanese rider, Kaede Otsawa.
Our next rider is 25 years old, representing his country, Latvia. He's an Olympian who was at the Paris 2024 Games, now in the finals, Ernest Ziebold.
Our next rider with his 30 years of age, he might be the old OG right here, but he is also one of the Simple Session All-Stars, representing the 720 BMX Club and Tall Order BMX from Essex in the United Kingdom, Mr. Jack Clark.
Your next rider, 19 years old, coming from Japan, his second time at Simple Session. Last year, he was second place. He'd love to be on top of the podium. Joji Mizugaki.
We are halfway through a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, for the 25-year-old representing the wonderful country of the Netherlands, originating in Eindhoven and representing Skate Pro. Make some noise for Levi Weidman!
Your next rider, 26 years old, originally from Tuluá, Colombia, now residing in Barcelona, Santiago Laverde!
We've seen him on multiple Simple Session podiums already. He wants to climb, this time for the first time maybe, to that desired #1 spot. Please make some noise for Boston, Massachusetts finest, Matt Rain.
Your next rider, 27 years old, from Santiago, Chile. His first time here at Simple Session, the one and only Jose Sedano!
It is his first time here in Tallinn, Estonia, and he managed himself to bump himself into today's finals, and he has a bright future ahead with only 21 years of age, representing Witness in Cheshire. Links and noise for Dylan Hassey!
Your #2 qualifier, 23 years old, from Kyoto, Japan. He's a two-time Olympian at the Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Games. He's also your Simple Session 2020 champion. Put it together for Rimo Nakamura!
And last but not least, I have the honor to introduce you to your #1 qualifier. It is his first time here at Simple Session. And boy, oh boy, did he impress not only you guys, but also the judges. The 25-year-old Hyper and Snafu riders. Please make some noise for Jordan Clark! Ladies and gentlemen, Tallinn, Estonia, who is ready for BMX Final?
Thank you so much to Andy and Daryl, and what a stacked field of riders we have got out there today. Worth talking though about the format, very different to yesterday. We've still got those 2 1-minute runs, but where yesterday the overall impression was what was being judged, today it is best run count. So you may see the riders go strategic, get a safety run in, and then build it up for run #2 and go all out. Or if a rider drops run #1, they can go for broke in run #2 and try and bring it back. So that is the major difference. It means we see the best riding on the day of finals. I can't wait to get into it. Simple Session 2025 BMX Finals. Let's get this show underway. I don't want to say how close I was to not making it to the commentary booth in time, but we are here, Daryl, and we are ready to get going with the BMX finals. I am pumped. Seeing you guys go through that rider list just was reminding me of all of the action yesterday.
Taking a look right here at our 4 judges. Closest to you on the screen is Dave Cleworth. Then we have next to him Marcus Vilke. The third rider you see has a mouthful right there. That is the street legend Van Homan. And last but certainly not least, from the Netherlands is Bart de Jong. All of those riders, you see Van and Bart having a good time up there, are legends of the sport. They still ride, and they're so involved behind the scenes. Dave Cleworth judges almost every major event in the world, including the Olympics. Marcus Vilke from Germany, he's won X Games medals before, and he runs Freedom magazine. Van Homan, do I even need to tell you how he redefined what BMX street is in modern day? And last but not least, Bart de Jong is one of the head UCI delegates getting BMX in the Olympics. Right now, you see on your screen all of our riders who qualified. We just gave them that big red carpet entrance. Essentially, what we're going to do is reverse order from our qualifications. So in a way, you were almost rewarded if you qualified first, because you can watch the other riders go and decide how much you have to give in your run, playing with risk versus reward. 2-run format. 60 seconds on the clock. It is going to be best run counts.
Yeah, so Ezekiel Helmreich is kicking off. If you were following closely, you might have seen that he didn't actually make the top 15 yesterday. He was in 17th place. So to explain why he's in for today, Jordan Godwin is feeling a bit under the weather. For anyone concerned, he is okay. He's just feeling unwell. He's got a migraine and kind of doesn't feel like he's up to riding, which totally makes sense. Dean Florian was in 16th place and was offered, but he's already sent his bike back to Germany, and therefore 17th place Ezekiel Helmreich has been called up. So he is in that 15th spot.
So this is one of those moments where opportunity meets preparation. So let's see if Ezekiel can seize the moment here in the finals. This morning, he didn't even think he was going to ride, but right now, the moment is his. This is that opportunity as he jumps on up, double peg on top of our gut face design quarter, and going for a toboggan over that rail. One thing I want to note, the judges have a phenomenal vantage point. If we don't see something in the booth or don't call one trick opposite, or yes, backflip tail whip, it has zero impact on the scores of the riders. The judges have a great vantage point. Look at that 270 over the bubble, and I got to tell you, James, he's flowing extremely well, and he throws that tail whip down over the pocket, and now he goes for a Superman seat grab. Look at this fast punt. This is a phenomenal run that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like, kind of like you were saying, he's almost like, okay, I've been given a second chance at this. I just missed out on final. You know, I wasn't the first person to be called up. I was the second. I'm going to take my moment, kind of waving off the final few seconds, but feeling like he got done what he wanted to do in run number 1. What a way to get the BMX finals going, Daryl.
Yeah, he really stepped things up from his qualifying runs yesterday, and that's what we're going to see. Take a look at some of our many highlights. This backflip tail whip, you see that he kicks his left leg, having the back end of that frame come around, spotting the landing nice and clean. I love this style and that 270 floating over the bubble. And then this tail whip isn't just a traditional air. You see he has to pocket, pull with some body English, getting back into that transition, and he keeps the flow going, and he's got the tricks with that Superman seat grab. The fact that that's done over that Red Bull Island, it's harder because your landing is steeper than on a box jump, so your margin of error is going to be a lot harder. And then right there at the end of the run, he had that foot jam 180 over the street spine, and he said, hey, I'm in control. I know what's up. If a rider winds up using the full time, that's always great what they want.
Absolutely. Ezekiel's down with the third member of our team, Thule, as well. Let's hear what he thinks of his first run.
It's always so fun to have you in Estonia, but this year's finals was such a surprise. I think a couple of hours ago, you didn't even know you're going to compete. And what a strong start. What are your emotions after being in the finals now?
Well, I gotta say that I'm very stoked. I had no idea, so I went partying last night, and then I was here in the couch, and they say, hey, bro, I think you're gonna go in. So super stoked, definitely. Always a pleasure to be here in Simple Session. I love you, everybody, and let's just keep having fun and riding, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and you pulled it together super nicely. I'm very excited for your second run. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you very much.
There we go, a 70.25 for Ezekiel Helmreich.
And the party continued for him on that first run, but as we said, 2 runs, so he will have a second opportunity.
So Stu Chisholm was on the bubble. He was our 15th place qualifier. I saw him last night and he was absolutely buzzing to have made the final. So kind of by default, he's been bumped up to 14th place qualifier.
Stu Chisholm right now, I'm going to give a BMX Park and the Source BMX family out of Hastings, England. He rides and represents, that's his local park, and throughout the years he's been able to develop there as a top pro rider. I know that Tom Creasy is really excited right now, screaming at the screen saying, come on Stu Chisholm, let's bring it home. Stu also is recently a father in the last few years, and that's really fueled his riding to a whole nother level. Chisholm starting things off, hopping over, you see him fishtail that back end of the bike out and crank arm slide down. The gap right there to ice pick, that's when a rider grinds on their back peg, and right there you see him, having a little difficulty, but he wants to pick up his bike. Even though this is a best run format counts, technically you could kind of wave it off and say, hey, I'll save it for the second run, but you only have 2 chances, and that's really not many opportunities when you have 14 of the other best riders in the world going for that top podium spot.
Yeah, and even if you know that you're going to be dropping that run, sometimes it's just good just to get out, spin those legs, feel out those tricks that you want to do, even though you know, okay, I'm going to have to make up for it in run number 2. Stu managing to get back into it quite nicely though.
Yeah, and if a rider does fall, they can get back on the horse. They have that full 60 seconds. Obviously, they'll be penalized if they're not able to keep it smooth, but Chisholm right there putting a 2-piece combo before that buzzer. 360 tail whip over the spine, and then now he's trying to get the back wheel. Boogie! Boom!
And he fell down on that yesterday, so he's going to be stoked to get that in at the end and just know that he can do it, maybe making up for that one fall. See Joe Jarvis in the background pumped for him.
So technically, tricks got to be done, or at least started by the time the buzzer starts, right? If a rider's in a combo or something's going on. But to be honest here, our 4 judges really celebrate BMX at this event. They know it's not an Olympic qualifier, and they know that it's really about celebrating BMX when you're out on the course of what you can do. So you don't want to be penalized if your run's not perfect, or you put a foot down. And they're a little bit more lenient with the rules, if that kind of makes sense. But we don't fully know in the booth what they're thinking up there. But we're going to see what they're thinking when that number comes in. And take a look right there, back wheel boogie, getting that fakie, dropping right into the Red Bull quarter, getting that nice rotation around. So Chisholm having a little bit of difficulty, but still getting it done. So nice recovery for Chisholm.
Amazing. Stu is down with Thule too. Let's see what he's feeling.
Stu, you're from Hastings, so you're normally riding at the Source Park. That means that this course probably is a really perfect playground for you. How do you feel?
Yeah, Source is amazing because it's right on my doorstep, and I always have the chance to go and ride it, but obviously this scale's a lot larger, so I'm grateful either way to just be here shredding. So
how has this year's Simple Session been for you? I mean, you're here with your biggest cheerleader, Joe Jarvis, who was not in the finals, unfortunately, this year, but obviously he's an interview now. I mean, how can I do without him?
Hello!
Here it is. But yeah, it's been amazing. Like me and Jarvis every time, like doing the hockey as well.
I love Big Shoe!
All right, we'll leave it there.
That's the brotherhood of Simple Session we want to see. Thank you, Joe. Always making a good cameo. And Stu, good luck to you in the second run.
Thank you, thank you.
They're such a party, those two. Such good fun. And a quick shout before we get into Boyd Hilder's run to everyone locked into the Simple Session live stream on YouTube right now in the live chat there. Wherever you're watching, maybe have that open on your phone so you can be part of that community, chatting away. There's a poll for who you think is going to win right now, so get involved.
I wouldn't be surprised if our next rider is on top of that pole. You see him right there confidently taking a pause on top of his bike. Talking about 2-time champion Boyd Hilder. This course definitely can favor his riding because we mentioned there's almost 2 elements, a park element and a street element. And Boyd is so proficient in both of those. Let's see what he does. Focusing first, going into the elevated section. And before I could say those words, he's back in the park. Nice rotation. And look at the hot bars. I believe that might have been a double truck over that island. Hilder right now looking to just fuel it up. Oh, balancing on that front wheel. That was a foot jam. It's known as a Canadian foot jam when you're pointed back into the coping. He had a little bit too much throttle on that, and he saved it by dropping into a Smith stall. That's the front peg, and then a disaster back in. So really good recovery, big hard move. because that quarter pipe is not a regular transition and it is enormous. Hilder right now, 18 seconds, looking for his line. Going back to the quarter pipe. Yeah, that is style for Hilder. Big foot plant and then just getting a little bit loose on that backflip over the box jump. Getting a fist bump right there from her in-course MC, Andy the Z-Man Zeiss. And we know that Boyd has won this event 2 times before. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably going to be his throwaway run, but take a look at what was so perfectly executed. Went off that shark fin with the 360 one-handed X up and then set up for a different variation on the 360 through the bars 2 times around. But right here, going for that Canadian foot jam stall. He has no brakes on his bike, so he uses his foot to find that sweet balance point. This is kind of where his run wound up not going in his favor, slipping his pedal on that double tail whip, but now charging back towards the box, and you see he just kind of shakes the bike a little bit on that backflip, saying, hey, I didn't really get the pop that I wanted, and he's waving it off a little bit, but I still got to give it to him, because not many riders in the world could go for that Canadian foot jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Boyd holding his hands up like he maybe wasn't super happy with that run. Let's see his thoughts. Down with Thule now.
Boyd Hilder, definitely one of the crowd favorites, and you won Simple Session 2 times. Yesterday when I spoke to you, you said you're going to concentrate more on the street part, but you didn't even go there. You were just in the park. So what do you think of your run?
Oh, mate, you slipped the boot. Can't have that. No, I was just about to get into the street section, lost my feet, thought I'd save my energy. Bit knackered.
Well, your energy was good. Like, you had such a huge smile on your face. And in your second run, so can we gonna see more of you on the street part as well?
Yeah, let's hope I can get over there, eh?
Thanks so much and good luck to you in the second run.
Thanks, Boyd.
Thank you, Thule. Yeah, so Boyd is kind of going to need to make it happen in his second run, really. A bit uncharacteristically, qualifying in 13th place. But a guy who was absolutely hyped to make the top 15 is 19-year-old Miller Temple out of Scarborough, UK.
First time here at Simple Session, and I know being in this iconic arena for any rider who grew up watching this event, it's such a special energy when your name is called and you're down on the floor and the fans are cheering you on. So right now, Miller Temple and any rider can select anywhere they want on the course. When they hit the first obstacle, the 60 seconds has started, and that can give a rider a little bit of a choice of saying, hey, what do I want to focus on, not only for my first hit in the park, but also what are the lines going to be throughout the course. You saw a nice combination right there, bar spin and a no-hander in that 720, downside 360 tail whip over the box jump backwards. Oh, yes, 720 with the tail whip. Very difficult, and then flipping the back end around multiple times on that far end corner, James.
Miller Temple just coming out, firing after yesterday. Another double whip as well in the mix. And then that 360 no-hander, 360 whip over the volcano as well. Just linking the course together. Hard to believe he's only halfway through his run. He's managed to squeeze so much in, opting to stick on this park kind of side of the course. Yes! Go on, Miller Temple. 15 seconds just gone remaining. Yeah, another whip over. Heading over the spine and the 540 flare as well. 3 seconds left, time to squeeze in one more. And a nice floaty flare, slightly after the buzzer, but the judges will love it. So Daryl, a massive step up for Miller Temple.
Yeah, the interesting thing, this is different than our qualifier where it was an overall impression of both runs. The judges are going to be looking for a little bit more of a polished run because you have to only have one run and the 60 seconds to get it done. But that was a big combination. You saw the way he threw the handlebars and then tucked them into his lap to have that momentum. That downside 360 tail whip over the box jump backwards is so challenging to do because, as I mentioned, coming in over that jump backwards, you have a steeper landing. Your margin of error is going to be different. And dare I say, Miller made that look so easy. It almost looked like he just jumped the box so casually, but there's not many riders in the world that can really pull that smooth going backwards over the box jump like that.
Yeah, seeing some of his highlights there. 1, 2, 3, triple whip over that Doritos box that Daryl pointed out earlier. That's why you're going to see big tricks like that throughout the whole final today. Repping Hyper. and pumping his fist to the crowd. Lots of appreciation for that. And we're going to see what his score comes in at. An 80.00 puts him into first place, almost 10 points clear of Ezekiel Helmreich right now. But remember, we are running in reverse order. So technically, if you're looking at the standings from yesterday, the best is yet to come. We go now to 17-year-old Katie Ozawa, coming out of Japan.
So Katie right here, part of a brother-sister combo. Yesterday in sister session, we saw Katie's sister Miharu actually got second place out there on the course. So I know that he would love to bring home a podium place as well back to Japan. But we're going to see, because he's got 60 seconds to try and make this happen. Again, riders can start from any vantage point they want, and they can focus a little bit more on the park, street, or blend it together. Dropping in for some extra speed off the box, and look at that 3-hit combo, 360 bar spin to downside tail whip. Yes, the 360 bar spin really smooth, and look at the height, James. I believe that was a triple bar spin.
Backing it up with the flip bar as well.
It's pretty wild just how many bars or tail whips can happen in this day and age. Again, if we can't see from our perspective, the judges have the perfect vantage point and are able to very accurately see everything. We have zero impact on the judges. I just want to make that clear, mainly because the judges have such a hard job, James. I wouldn't want to do that.
No, absolutely. I much prefer being in here calling tricks with zero consequences. He landed that whip on the quarter, on the big quarter a little low, which killed some of his speed, but he's managed to really get that rhythm going back again, just absolutely flying around the courses, Katie. Another little bar over the pyramid, over that A-frame. And then chance to get one final trick in. Yeah, nice stuff for Katie Ozawa.
So we're seeing riders focus a lot more on the park section of the course in our final. Let's take a look at some of his highlights. And one thing I want to really talk about with this Nate Wessel designed course, the quality is phenomenal out here. It's not just, even though this is only here for a week, barely even a week, the design is so strong, and the bottom of the ramps in particular, riders can really pump into the transition and generate speed. Sometimes when you have a temporary course, it can flex a lot and you can't really build that momentum. The reason I bring that up is if a rider can really build his or her speed in this contest, they're going to shine even a little bit more above the other riders, because you can just generate so much out there. I love seeing Katie's hot hands on those bars, throwing them forwards, backwards, catching them, and we even saw that triple out there.
Yeah, so Miller Temple, the riding speed right now with an 80.00. Katie Ozawa coming through with a 75.25. Puts him into second. We'll maybe have a bit more of an accurate perspective on where things are at as we get further through, because we still have 10 riders to drop, and our next is the Latvian Ernest Zibolds. Obviously a crowd favorite here as well, coming from the Baltics. Latvia literally a couple of hours away from here, so yeah, the Baltic countries all have a lot of love for each other, all like claiming each other's athletes, and yeah, it's a great feeling. You heard the crowd roar when you guys were doing that lineup on the park, Daryl.
Yeah, one other really special thing about Ernest Zibolds, you can see those Olympic rings on the back of his helmet. He was at the Paris 2024 Games representing Latvia. BMX Freestyle has only been a part of the Games for 2 times, Tokyo 2020 and in Paris last year. So to be a rider who can say you're an Olympian is a really special thing, because there's not many riders who have done that. So it's definitely rare air. The thing I love about Zibolds riding is that he traditionally in some ways started out a little bit more as like a street rider, and he's been focusing more on park in the last few years. Yes! And he has big combinations like that 360 triple tail whip, but if he wants to, he can also focus on really technical back wheel tricks, and he even has the ability to land backwards on some big airs. So let's see what he decides to do with 34 seconds left. Yeah, 360 double bar spin, very confident, trying to put as many tricks in as possible. Getting that 360 ET to tuck no-hander. The ET is in reference to that Steven Spielberg classic. That BMX scene definitely influenced a lot of riders. And here we go, the 180! Yes!
we were calling for that yesterday. Everyone in the live chat was calling for that yesterday. Absolutely wild. And we thought we were going to see it over the box. He's going the wrong way with that 180. Can just do it on anything.
Wow, look at this, getting the crowd support. You can see a lot of fans to their feet cheering on Ernest Z. Bolt. Landing backwards with that much speed and momentum is such a difficult thing because you have so much speed. Love seeing that tabletop. That is worthy of a Tabe Lords Instagram post right there. All the BMX riders know that as a page that's just dedicated to the finest flatties in BMX, and Z. Bolt lays it over. Take a look at the double bar spin, but the highlight was definitely landing backwards over that box jump. Here's a tweaked out X up coming back into the transition, and then right here, tucking the hands in the lap for the bar spin, the no-hander that stabilizes the bike. But this 180, he's got to spot it, gets a nice tuck, perfect re-entry. Here's a great perspective. He just has to pause, then find that transition, and boom.
That is actually terrifying. Fair play. The wrong way over the box. Like I say, we thought he was just going to take it over the box. Not the wrong way. Back into the takeoff. Much more margin for error there. Man, he's going to be buzzing with that. Let's hear his thoughts down with Thule now.
Ernst, you're an Olympian, and it shows. That was fast, and that was so powerful, and you're clearly a crowd favorite as well. So let's hear it out for Joe Ernst. Let's talk about your run. Do you think it's going to be enough to score first at this stage?
I would love to, but we'll see what the judges say. So I did my part.
There you go. Congrats. Woohoo! So what can we expect from you in the second run?
Would love a 180 double bar.
Good luck to you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this
I think Thule summed it up. Good luck to you then. Is that going to be a 180 double bar the wrong way over the box again, or is he going to go the right way on this one? I mean, I don't really care where we see it, to be honest. Let's just get it done. Wow, mind blown from that. And yeah, you see there, Ernest Bolt's going to the top of the leaderboards with an 82 dead. Now we go to Jack Clark, another fan favourite coming out of Essex in the UK.
Jack Clark has been spending a lot of time out in China. You can see on the back of his jersey, 720 Club. He's actually working with the future Chinese riders, trying to help them get some positive influence and be around somebody who's a great role model and really focused on BMX. We actually had him out here yesterday with one of our youngest riders, 10 years old, taking him under the wing and being out on the course. So to get some pointers from Jack Clark, who's got a lot of experience and is a veteran of the sport, is something else. But he's splitting his time between Beijing and the UK and helping bring in the new generation of riders with the 720 Club.
We go opening up with that 360 tuck no-hander.
Jack Clark is always one of my favorite riders because he's extremely outspoken. He's got strong opinions, yes, and he's not afraid to let you know. And those opinions definitely show on his trick selection choice. He is able to do wild rotations, and he can also get extremely technical on the lip of some ramps. Yes, like right there. It's called the lip trick, where he hit the downside of his peg while he transferred into that vert quarter and then throws a 900.
So close to pulling that as well. Insane. Come on, let's see that. He's got 20 seconds. He wants to just pushing the camera out of the way.
Wow, going for that 900. Shout out to Matt Hoffman, the first rider to ever do the 900 back in 1989. But right now, Jack Clark looking to make it happen, getting tech on that lip trick again. So Jack Clark, unfortunately, falling right there on that spin, but I'd love to see the little kind of nooks and crannies he found on that course. That dark side Smith transfer, no other riders doing that, hitting their peg. But take a look, throwing the bars with that Sui no-hander, double truck driver, tweaking that look back air, grabbing the pocket, downside whip over our bubble, and that's what I was talking about. He even got a little bit of style coming out right there. And then here you can count him going for that 900. Look, 360, 540, 720, 900, and then unfortunately washed out a little bit on the floor.
So close to pulling that though. really not that far away. So hoping for run number 2, he'll get that done. 55.25, putting him in 6th place.
So you're seeing the judges heavily penalize a big crash like that in your run, because he was pretty solid throughout, but a 55.25. So keep that in mind as we watch our next riders.
Yeah, and so excited for this guy. Crushed it at Simple Session last year. This is his 2nd time out, and got 2nd last year, so hoping he can maybe get back on the podium again today. It's Joji Mizugaki out of Japan, just 19 years old, an absolute ruler.
Yeah, really excited to see Joji out here. Very well-rounded rider. Repping it for Federal Bikes. Let's see what he's going to do. Dropping in with the big, powerful bunny hop. Whoa! Wild to see. I believe that might have been a double or a triple to an X-up, but we'll get a slow-mo replay on that and break it down. It's pretty wild to see the level of riding that is going on here. Again, from our booth and perspective, sometimes it's hard to call just the amount of spins that are going on these days, but we're going to make sure that our judges know exactly what is up. Coming back into the box, 360, you see a one-handed X-up. Now, the reason a rider might want to throw the bars or guide them forward and back is just really a trick preference, a little bit of style, showing, hey, I got some variety out there. When you do the tricks, they do feel completely different. When you do a one-handed X-up, the bike can get a little bit away from you. That's where you see the riders pinch the seat with the knees, and sometimes when you toss the bars, if you do them fast enough, the bike just kind of stays right under you. 540, oh, dumping off the side right there. Looks like Joji is just catching his breath for a moment. 60 seconds is a long time. Getting back to his feet. Let's give him a round of applause here, everyone at the stadium.
60 seconds is a long time, and then to throw that 540 at the end as well, when your legs and arms are just absolutely burning at that point. Heavy.
I believe that was a triple bar spin to X up. I'm going to take this moment right here and tip my hat and pay some respects to a BMX legend the world just lost this week, Ricky Ratt in Southern California. He was one of the first riders, I believe, to throw a triple bar spin back in the day. And I know he would have been psyched to just see that over the box right there. So Team Soil, Bar Spin Orion, the whole BMX fam at S&M, we feel you guys, and we're sending some love out to Ricky Ratt. But right now, Joji on that spine, going for that 540. You see, he just had a little bit too much gas right there, and the bike got away from him. His weight went over the handlebars, and it caused the back end to shoot out to the side. So a 66.75, that is going to put him in that 5th place. But again, it's a best run format, so we're going to see riders when they come out for their 2nd time how they change their approach.
So Hennis Sibold still the man to beat with an 82.0, but we move to Levi Wiedmann right now.
Love seeing Levi out here. Really wild style from Eindhoven in the Netherlands. Last time he rode Simple was back in 2020, right before that world had changed, and he's done his homework because yesterday in qualifying, a whole new rider has emerged.
We saw him throwing it in practice as well, absolutely going for it. Pulling big 7 almost to flat over the volcano. He's been really eyeing up some big hits for the finals, so we're going to see what he can pull out in run number 1.
Charge it in. What? Oh!
Speaking of a 7, straight out the bag.
Into a front flip over the bubble. Pressing that front wheel with the bar spin. Look at the can stepping through on that 450. Bar spin to disaster, and now he's back in it. He's going to say, hey, I'm not going to stick to the streets. I'm going to do what I know, and that is these park features. Again, big transitions give the riders to pop into the air and able to keep that momentum going. One thing to note, the judges are paying attention to all the riders. Nice 540, and they do want to see a rider utilizing an obstacle that maybe somebody isn't touching during the runs. The reason being, you can practice over a box jump at your local park and kind of get some of the tricks down, yes. But doing a flare on that quarter pipe that's really unique right there, it's an elliptical transition to a wedge. You can't really practice that at home, so it definitely is favored more than doing it on a regular quarter pipe.
So a great first run for Levi Wiedmann. And you know what? I love that front flip that he does into the street course. Just feels completely unique. Oh, we're checking the rotation.
Wow.
I kind of want to see that again. We're trying to suss how many spins that was.
Yeah, a little hard for us to see from our perspective. It sounds like we could hear the Z-Man Zeiss potentially counting out 3 rotations. Again,
Yeah.
the judges have that clear perspective. It's not that we can't see the course or not anything of that nature, but they've got the front row seats and can clearly see that amount of spin. So
Yeah.
we're kind of up in the air, 720,
Yeah.
1080. He's got the ability to do it. That's really what's kind of throwing us a little bit for that loop.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's our judges right there again. Dave Cleworth, Marcus Vilke, Van Homan, Bart de Jong. You see Andy Zeiss in that background right there.
So there we go. Yeah, we do have, they called that 1080 at 720. Apologies for that. From our perspective, we just didn't see how fast he'd rotated on that. And with the highlights, yeah, we see that that was indeed a 1080. So we're going to hope that his score obviously reflects that. And Levy kind of waiting to see, yeah, pops into the top 3 with a 76.25.
Yeah, big shout out to everyone following around the world. We're on so many different platforms. Our YouTube channel, X Games Fuel TV, going broadcast to all different homes. If you're on any of those platforms and you happen to see something, let us know if we've missed it. We will call it the right way. But we got millions of eyes that watch this event, so if you give us that feedback, we love to hear it. Our next rider who's going to hear the feedback from the crowd, currently living in Barcelona, always a favorite, Santiago Leverde. Traditionally known as a street rider, representing for Kink BMX. Shout out to Jay Rowe, the team manager, who has a shop in Barcelona, The Cut. It's a hub where all riders hang out at. I know right now he is watching. They've got this feed going on in their shop, but he's been putting a lot more time riding the ramps these days. So let's see what happens. Yeah, 360 tabletop. Love the one-footed version. Yes, there you see doing a little bit of a 1-foot Euro. That's when you turn the bars down, and then a one-handed tabletop. Shout out to Rob Darden, a Simple Session legend throughout the years who would always do those big one-handed flatties. And right now, Leverde keeping that trick going strong in 25. Having some trouble as he jumped up. Come on, Leverde, you got time. You got the support. Bar spin from that double tire ride. Crank arm slide going down. Trying to put that gas back on, and you're seeing why it's difficult in the street section because you have so much force driving you into the ground. But he did hit that nice clean double peg to ice pick through the kink. Coming back at us. Gonna focus a little bit more. Yeah, oh my gosh, that would have been huge. Trying to crank arm slide up and over the A-frame. Very hard thing to do because you see it, you have to watch your front wheel and also the top tube of your bike, and it's hard to get clearance going up that A at that apex on the top. So let's take a look here. Picture perfect 360 flatty. Again, shout out to Tape Lords. If you're not following them on Instagram, you should be, because you can see classic BMX style the same way Leverde threw out 3 or 4 different variations of the table. And that right there, perfect. Hopefully Jeff Zielinski or any one of our Dig BMX photographers got some photos of that, because you can see those if you're not following us on our social media at Simple Session. There's tons of behind the scene recap videos and photos of all of our riders. But right here, you saw he wound up getting stuck at the top of that A-frame and it pitched him over the bars. Thankfully, he's okay. He paused for a moment. He said, let me hear you, Estonia. Got a good seat right here.
Almost looked like he kind of went to switch that weight to head back down the other side just a fraction too early, and it just snapped him off. Let's see how he's feeling. He's down with Thule on the course right now.
Santi, you're no stranger to Simple Session either, and you have a huge fan base back at home. You're living in Barcelona, you're more known as a street rider, but you've been trying out different park elements as well. What was the trick that you were trying that didn't work out, and how are you going to improve it in the second run?
I was trying the crank arm and it just didn't work. I did it 2 times in practice, but hopefully the next run.
And you had your mom on the phone when we had the lineup. Do you want to say hi to your mom?
Hi, Mom. I hope you got the right link now. I say it to you.
I sent his mom. Thank you.
Love you, Mama.
Can't wait to see your second round.
Thank you very much, Julie Kern, 7th place here for
In the lineup, having to hook mum up with the live feed link. Love that. And we move now to one of my favorite riders who has become actually kind of like a bit of a simple session legend. He is no stranger to the podium here, placed second in 2019, third last year, second in 2023 as well. Has qualified fifth for the finals today. It's Mr. Matt Ray coming out of Boston, doing it for Sabrosa.
to 4th place and taking over that.
Matt Ray is definitely a crowd favorite because he's got these really powerful bunny hops. So on that street section, he's got the power to get through and keep the momentum going, but he's also no stranger to hit big airs and be confident on the quarters and in the park. But I think his riding could really potentially shine if he's one of the only guys really getting the big hops going on the street. But he's going to start things off in the park with a very clean combination, going up for that foot jam back in. The difference between Boyd's foot jam before is the fact that he was on the deck. Boyd was on the coping. One's a Canadian, and that was a traditional foot jam. That Superman had full extension over the box, and now he's going 270 into our street section. This time throwing a tail whip on that 270. Matt Ray kicking that whip. I believe that was an opposite direction whip. Smith to 360 coming off. That was a very hard trick to do because your body position and get a full 360 rotation. Not many riders have the power to do that. 540 bar spin. James, this is a big run right here.
Yeah, this is looking really calculated. It is trick after trick after trick. The judges, I hope, are making notes as fast as they can because he's just banging them out right here and making the hardest tricks look easy. That Smith 3. Yeah, a super technical move, and he just chilled to then be able to have the speed coming off it to gap down the kink to double pegs as well. Matt Ray, crushing it.
Boston.
Top 5, is he going to be into that top 3?
Boston, Massachusetts right here representing bar spin, twisting that turn down. I love the way that he started out. And look at this Superman full extension. Shout out to Chris Bennett, the OG BMX dirt rider who used to get nice full extensions like that. And you're seeing how he gets that 270 with the tail whip. But where he really shined was in this street section. He had that opposite tail whip, that 360 coming off the Smith. And then he was able to keep things going with the bar spin 540. Hard trick to do because you're blind coming in. Backwards with the crooked grind. That's where you're grinding on either side of the bike on that rail with a clean revert out.
Lots of people in the Simple Session live chat calling for first place there. We'll see if that happens. He's down with Thule now.
Matt, excited to see how you score. You've been to Simple Session 5 times. You've been on a podium 3 times. You think you're going to win this? Stupid question, I know, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I don't know. I mean, riding with all these park guys and stuff. Part of me is like, oh, I can't hang, but I love just riding a box jump, doing a big Superman. It's so much fun. So if the judges like it, I get scored well. I'm psyched, but regardless, we're having fun. So I got to catch my breath.
Sorry, I'm always grabbing you after the run. So let's see. I think we're gonna see your score soon. But hey, you've been here 5 times. What is the Simple Session vibe for you this year?
It's great. I mean, it's kind of crazy traveling now because my daughter's back home. So it's like a little bit of FOMO leaving home. But being in Estonia is always so welcoming. Everyone's awesome here. So I enjoy coming. It's great.
So Santi was saying hi to his mom. You want to say hi to your daughter. So there you go. It's yours.
Yeah. Hi, Lana. Hi. Also, my niece, Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
You scored 3rd. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go. Sweet.
All right, thank you very much, Matt, and thanks to...
So Matt Ray into 3rd place with a 79.25, and the chat going wild right now for this guy dropping the chili flags for Jose Sedano, someone that I know you absolutely love, Daryl.
Yeah, Jose Sedano, a.k.a. JMC. I had an opportunity to spend some time with him and the BMX family in Santiago, Chile about 10 years ago, which is crazy to say. But I had a chance to witness his BMX career evolve. He rides at Signal Skate Park, which the great Coco Zarita and Juani Zarita skate park run, founded by his dad. Thomas Fuentes is a local there. Also, Macarena Perez is from that area, so some big BMX roots, but the fact that he's emerged on this international scene is really exciting. Yesterday in qualifying, he actually held first for most of the day throughout the event until we got to our further heats. So right now, dropping in, Sedano over the box. Boom! A red carpet entrance, double backflip. Whoa! Came in hot to that quarter pipe. Thankfully, he's able to keep it together as he flies all the way into the pocket. Sedano tweaking that turn down, charging back with a tail whip. Looking very composed. Oh, I spoke too soon. Come on, JMC, you got some time. Oh, no.
Straight to the family jewels.
That's not what we like to see.
Let's give him a moment. Let's give him a moment.
Oh, no. All right. Well, we're going to get Sedano over to our medical. We've got our EMTs right there who are going to get him checked out. Hopefully, he just tweaked it a little bit and will be able to ride in his second run. If we could collectively put our thoughts and energy out to Jose right now. Let's take a look, though, at what did go right in his run. This double backflip, perfect landing, spotted it, came in clean. He had so much juice. He went to lay over a flatty right there, got a little bit stuck in the air, rips into that turn down, full 270 degrees. Look at the execution right there, coming around, and then, you just see he wasn't able to get his feet totally on the pedals, and unfortunately is limping off the course. Now, we've seen it before. Riders you didn't think could potentially make it into their second run, and they were able to be tough as nails. So we're hoping that we could put the energy out there for Sedano and that he's okay.
Yeah, 32.50, obviously score kind of irrelevant at this point. Yeah, just sending good vibes, medical team with him, I guess maybe running on adrenaline when he was able to walk off. Yeah, sending good vibes and hoping that it's not too serious. Just a tweak would be great. So yeah, thank you for the messages in the chat. The good energy for Jose Sedano, and sad not to be able to see him ride some more. Dylan Hesse, though, coming in, our third place qualifier, was recently ranked 7th overall in the UCI World Cup rankings. Got a strong history of impressive results under his belt, really, for the 21-year-old rider, and hoping to replicate that here at Simple Session as well, if he can be on the podium today. Up on top of that big Red Bull bank, ready to come in, where we see a lot of the riders coming from, just generating all the speed that he wants to be able to kick off on that box jump, and then we'll see where he goes from there.
Unbelievable to think, first time at Simple Session, backflip, bar spin to tail whip, great combination. And then James, look at the height on that flare, commanding over the box jump backwards, 360 with 2 bar spins, coming back in. Yes, double time on the bars with the 720. Look at the momentum as he fires out of that berm. Hesse right now, 21 years old, another enormous flare. Looks very comfortable being upside down. Double tail whip over the bubble, going around that berm in his opposite direction. 360 bar spin to X up. Yo, flare with the tail whip, James, that was wild.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Heading back over the volcano as well, carrying so much speed right now. Dylan coming out swinging. He wants to be involved. The 540 flare as well. Up on the big bank, yeah, front flip over the box, just linking the features together. Wow, Dylan Hesse, what a run.
You said it, linking all of those tricks together. The fact that he did those back to back to back with the box jump in the middle is so impressive. That 540 flare was almost a 9. It was one of those wild tricks that are in between. Take a look at those 3-hit combo. Backflip, bar spin to tail whip, 720, so focused as he uses his height to pull his handlebars into his lap to keep that momentum. Right here, though, this flare tail whip popping way out above the coping right there. You can see Wes from Dig on the ramp getting a great perspective, especially with that 540 flare. Then somehow, how did he even get that front flip over that hip? And then he said, hey, I still got some juice left, and goes for that invert flare, putting his bike a little bit to the side on that tabletop. And take a look at our fans cheering him on.
Yeah, and the thing is, not only did he get that front flip, he took it almost to flat as well, and then still had the speed for that flare. Thule is down with him now. Let's see how Dylan's feeling.
Dylan, your second time at Simple Session, and this might have been the strongest run at this comp tonight, right?
I'm hoping so. We'll see what the judges think.
So do you plan your runs or you just go with it? Or how do you normally go for comps?
I plan them everything that day when I'm going to do beforehand. So, yeah.
So let's see. And you're first. Congrats.
You.
So everything going very to plan for Dylan Hesse. An 88.25, putting himself over 6 points clear of Ernest Sibolds at this point. And we said, you know, just technically speaking, in terms of the scores from yesterday, if you look at that, the best was to come. And Dylan showing that right now. But a guy who would love to ruin Dylan's day is Rim Nakamura.
As we mentioned, Rim Nakamura, two-time Olympian, Tokyo 2020, Paris 2024. He is a Simple Session champion. In 2020, he got first place. That year's when we had divided park and street, two different competitions. But I know that he's very solid on this course and looks great out there. Look for Rim to try and bump up the level of tricks and linking them together. Because he's going in a second to last, that means he qualified second, and let's see what he brings. Backflip, bar spin, 3 times around. Tuck no-hander out of the bar spin. Nakamura right here.
Yeah, the Superman seat grab over the bubble. Daryl obviously highlighted that in the pre-show today as being a big feature. We've seen a lot go down already. Rim linking those two features together, Daryl.
Yeah, James, that is the word that we want to pay attention. Linking the combos back to back, just hitting with relentless shots. As we got 30 seconds for Nakamura, and he's had so many tricks.
Oh my gosh.
Now listen, he landed a little low, but if he can build back his momentum, that's going to be the key here, because 60 seconds is a long time on the course. And if you don't have that momentum in your favor, you can get extremely winded. Double downside 360 tail whip. Here we go. 10 seconds for Nakamura. Bar spin up. Yeah, quick nollie. That's off the front wheel to a double peg. Popping the flare on the Red Bull quarter. Ice pick across, and that is time right there for your Simple Session 2020 champion.
So Dylan smashed out that 88.25. Rim's gone, hold my beer. I think I've got something to respond with. So let's see what his score comes in at in a moment after these highlights.
Backflip, bar spin, throwing it back and forth. Wow, that was, I believe, 4 bar spins, if I'm not mistaken. You guys let us know. You can see how fast that is going without the proper slow-mo out there. I don't know how we're even going to call it in the booth, so let us know right there. Nakamura, you saw, did that windshield wiper technique where he threw it one way, threw it back, and threw it the other, but I believe that was 4 times. Again, we have 0 impact at all on the judges. They have a front row seat, so from our perspective, it can be extremely challenging to see. It does not impact the scores. You're going to hear us be a broken record about that, but we know how important this contest is and how many of you at home want to see and make sure the riders are deserved the right amount of points.
Shouts to Dick BMX in the I can't count that high, so there we go. We're not going to BMX. Rim is down with Thule now.
Rim, that was one hell of a run. And you know what? I was talking to quite a lot of guys yesterday, and most of them were saying that you're probably going to win. What's your own take on it?
I don't know. I appreciate it, but yeah, I don't know.
There you go. Congrats, Rim. Amazing. Epic run, epic run.
Thank you, Stock.
We have ourselves a new
Well, there we go. Yeah, Rim said hold my beer and came through with a 92.25. Just stepping it up. And now we come to our first place qualifier. Jordan Clark has had to sit back and kind of watch all of this. We talk about how, you know, being that first place qualifier gives you the advantage of getting to watch everyone. But at this point, you know what, we've had some really heavy first runs. He must be feeling a bit of pressure now to pull out all the stops, because he knows the standard that he's going to need to ride to be in this competition.
Well, James, you said it. He knows the standard, right? He almost has the advantage that he earned by going last, by qualifying first. So he saw what all the other riders have brought so far, and now over that box jump. Yes, 720 with the bar spin. Kicking that double tail whip. Watch how smooth he's landing into these transitions. It gives him a little extra speed. And what we talked about is how this park is constructed. It gives him that ability. Right there, you're seeing his scooter background with that brief flip. No other rider has done that in the event. It's a very unique trick where he brings his bike to the side and he's showing you those skills that can transfer on the two wheels. Oh, big front flip, turning around on her gut face mural up there. There's a nice tribute to Pat Casey and also Kashad Johnson, two late family members who unfortunately are legends of the sport that are no longer with us, but part of our Simple Session family. Right now, charging around that berm. Let's see what he's going to do for the last 10 minutes, James.
Yeah, there's the 540 flare as well. He's only got a few seconds left, but he's making it count, throwing that quick T-Bog, and then into another flare for good measure as well. Jordan Clark pumping the fist. He's fired up. He had the game face on beforehand. Hard to tell if that was just the steely determination or some nerves, maybe a mixture of both, but let's look at some of these slow-mo highlights.
All right, all eyes are on the screen. We want to count the number of bar spins and tail whips. There's coming around 2 times on the whip. And then taking a look here as he does that unique Brie flip where he's off to the side, Brie, whatever you want to call it. I call it crazy. It's a unique move that you don't see too often. And then kicking the multiple whips coming up into that roller. Here's a look at the front flip on our step up that's in the street section. Very hard to do because your landing is a little bit more of a wedge. You got that back flip with the 180 coming in and then pumping that fist to the air.
Huge first run from Jordan Clark. All of these first runs have been wild, Daryl. Let's see what Jordan thinks after that with Thule.
Jordan, as you qualified first, you hit the course last today. How do you think you're going to score? And I mean, the level of comp is amazing, right?
To be honest, I'm just happy to land a run and hopefully a podium spot, but Rim's run was so good.
Well, you're still going to have a second one, and you were watching the reruns of your run. Like, what are you going to perfect in the second one?
To be honest, just try and clean a few things up and then might have a little surprise.
Congrats, you scored second. And looking forward to the second one.
New second place. That means that gentleman on the big screen, Rim Nakamura, is your current number one. All riders, we have 10 minutes warm-up, and we're going to take a 10-minute break for run number 2. This is your current grand standing. Rim Nakamura, Jordan Clark, Dylan Hesse are your top 3. Ernest Sebos in the middle tempo, Matt Ray, Levi Whiteman, Kaede Otsama in that 8th place position. In 9th place, Ezekiel Hamdage, followed by Shuji Mizugaki, Santiago Laverde, Stu Chisholm, Jack Clark, and Boyd Hilder. And in the 15th and last spot at the moment, Jose Sedano, who took a nasty fall in run number 1. Let's see if we can see him.
All right, Daryl, let's get some thoughts then as we look back on those first runs. I think we need to really break this down because that was wild.
Yeah, seeing the level of riding, not only the tricks, but it was really what you said, linking them together, back to back, hitting those combos. It's like each rider out there just in the ring, throwing a haymaker and connecting as we saw the scores going back and forth. Unbelievable from our riders.
Yeah, I think that's it. It feels like that linking together. We're going to keep saying it today, but the run's just feeling more calculated, more strategic, fitting in more tricks than yesterday. Am I tripping or?
No, you're not. I mean, the riders know that this is the final, it's the big show, and it's really more so about having this platform. There's not many contests of this caliber in the world where they have a chance to show what they've been working on throughout the year. This is usually the first contest of the year to kick things off. They know it's the finals and they want to bring the heat.
And I think as well, the big thing we were talking about earlier is maybe that getting a kind of more basic first run to get a good score on the board that you can build on in run number 2. We've just seen the guys absolutely going for it. So I can't wait to get into run 2 very shortly. The guys are getting out, spinning their legs back up, getting warm. And whilst we do that, we want to chat about the sister session that went down yesterday. How was that, Daryl? It must have been absolutely amazing to be in the box calling that.
Yeah, seeing the progression in real time of women's BMX is such an important thing. We had sister session in 2012, 2020, and 2023, and having it back for the 25th edition was really exciting, especially when we saw the level, the flow, the style, the tricks. our women just rode phenomenal out there.
Yeah, and you were joined in the box by Tuliev Stignev, who's been down doing the interviews. She is courtside with our sister session champion, Paris Benegas.
Paris Benegas, our 2025 sister session champion. I mean, that was such an epic comp. If you haven't watched it, go to Simple Sessions YouTube and rewatch it. And Paris, let's talk about women's level in BMX, because I think Simple Session level was pretty hardcore.
I agree with you. It's absolutely unreal seeing everyone out here in the progression of women's BMX. Every competition, it just continues to go higher and higher. And I get excited myself to see what the girls are going to bring out at each event.
Do you want to say something inspiring to the girls watching and encouraging them to get on bikes and enter competitions?
Honestly, it's such a male-dominant sport, but we're out here, we're paving the way. They could be a part of it too, so just pick up a bike, get out here. The boys are supportive, and just come out and let's have more women next year.
Well said, 100%. And let's talk quickly about the male comp as well. Like, we've seen the first runs. What's the level in your opinion?
Absolutely unreal. It's so inspiring to see how these dudes ride the course. Makes all of us super motivated to come out here and just do bigger and better next year. And yeah, I can't wait to see the final runs. I know it's going to be even more insane.
Thank you so much, Paris, and congrats once again for being our sister session champion for 25.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff there. Paris talking about being inspired by the guys. I know the guys were inspired, having watched them ride yesterday. The standard was incredible. We do want to talk about, though, we mentioned at the top of the show, right, the Simple Sessions 25th anniversary. It is a big contest. It's been going for so many years now. What were you doing 25 years ago, Darryl?
It's crazy to think 25, but I'll tell you this. We're talking what? 2000, turn of the year, right? So 25 years ago, we actually just finished working on a BMX project known as Seek and Destroy. It went on to be one of the videos that kind of jump-started a lot of riders' careers. And I'm talking about one of our head judges, Van Homan. We just finished, and I'm going to say this about Van and him redefining what modern-day street riding was, especially in that video. So 25 years ago, doing the same thing, riding a lot of BMX on the East Coast. Shout out to our Long Islanders, also anywhere in Bethlehem, Allentown, talking about the Posh Woods crew, and riding street in New York City. So I'm honored to say 25 years later, I'm doing the same thing with Van Homan and also the BMX family out here.
Amazing stuff, man. Well, Tule's been out and about finding out what the fans and riders were doing 25 years ago too.
Bikes, beer, and birds.
asking people what they were doing 25 years ago because Simple Session got 25 years here. So what did you do 25 years ago?
Let's go. 25 years ago, I was 5 years old, living in Tennessee, so probably playing soccer. I was doing that a lot when I was 5 and trying to stay out of trouble.
Playing football and learning how to talk.
I was on the World Cup skateboarding tour, traveling all over Europe.
I was freshly born in the hospital of Mona Vale in Australia.
Won X Games like 17 times.
I actually went to the first Simple Session. Woo!
Sleeping. I was organizing an almost illegal rave. 9th grade, organizing Simple Session.
Trying to learn to skateboard in Viljandi.
Probably shitting my pants. Not drinking as many beers.
PlayStation? I was in Nigeria farming. I finished university.
I was working in Tunisia.
No idea, I was 4 years old. Riding bicycle. Doing crazy things.
I was happy because I wasn't paying like taxes or rent.
Probably learning how to eat.
Playing flute.
I don't know, I can't remember.
Blast racing down like a snow hill in the winter.
Just starting my professional BMX career.
Riding simple session. I need a calculator to do the maths, trying to catch snakes and lizards.
I was born? I was not born yet.
Listening to techno music.
I was dreaming about Simple Session.
Riding BMX.
Probably riding my first BMX bike.
I don't really know.
My mom was about 6 months pregnant with me. I was probably just sitting in there kicking it.
Nothing, I wasn't even conceived yet.
I was playing soccer.
Learning feeble grinds.
I was really looking forward to the very first Simple Session, and by that, happy birthday, Simple Session 25.
Congratulations to Risto, Mario, and everyone, the whole crew. Been amazing. Happy 25th anniversary Simple Session. Here's to 25 more. Keep it going.
Happy birthday, Simple Session, Estonia, to everybody. Happy birthday, Simple Session.
Happy birthday, Estonia and Simple Session. Let's go. Happy birthday, Simple Session 2025. Let's go.
Happy birthday, Simple Session. Come on, 25 years, killing it. Skate, BMX, party, community. We love you. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Simple Session. It's coming to my best friend's birthday every year. 25, best year.
Happy birthday to Simple Session!
Happy birthday to Simple Session, and thank you for all the crew who have turned this event in this 25 years into a world-class competition and a full community that makes Estonia bigger and of course celebrates this fantastic sports. Happy birthday, my baby. Thank you.
Happy birthday to Simple Session and to Goldenberg Brothers. Yeah, happy birthday, Simple Session. 25 years of chaos. Fuck me. Can I swear?
Happy birthday, Simple Session. Happy birthday, Simple Session. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Simple Session.
Happy birthday. Congratulations to Risto and Mario. It's incredible what they've done. Really incredible. So glad we did have a bit of art.
Happy birthday, Simple Session.
Yeah, go on, Simple Session. Happy birthday. Thanks for having me, and hope you have a good one.
Happy New Year to Simple Session. Happy birthday, Simple Session. Let's go.
Feliz cumpleaños, Simple. Happy birthday, Simple Session.
Happy birthday, Simple Session.
Happy birthday, Simple Session, and thanks for having us.
So, happy 25th birthday, Simple Session.
Happy birthday, Simple Session. Happy birthday.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Simple Session.
Happy birthday, Simple Sessions. Love you. Hope you have a good one.
Of course, happy birthday to Simple Session. Happy birthday.
All right, welcome back to the Simple Session 2025 BMX Finals. We have seen an absolutely wild set of first runs from our 15 finalists. We can see a recap on our leaderboard right there. In first place still, Rim Nakamura. In second, Jordan Clark came out swinging in run number one, but wasn't quite enough to take that top spot. He got a 90.12. And in third is Dylan Hesse, who blew minds with his 88.25. I'm James Threlfall, and in the booth with me right now is Daryl. Now, how are you feeling after those first runs?
Excited, ecstatic, and mind is blown. 25 years of Simple Session. Rimu Nakamura at 92.25. He is in that top spot. We saw big combinations like that 4-bar spin. There, back in the backflip. That's quad. That is right. Big combinations and big airs. What we're going to see, though, is our riders coming in for their second run, and we're going to know, are they going to change their strategy? Hey, I got one run done. Maybe a quote-unquote safety run. Maybe their run didn't go their way, and they have to pick up the pieces from the bottom. But this could be anyone's event up until the last run. It is a best run counts format. That is exciting. So it's up to the last rider, who is Jordan Clark. This whole picture can change, and we're going to have our Simple Session 25 champion. All right, dropping in for his second run right now. We talked about when preparation meets opportunity. He didn't know he was riding today. We're talking about Ezekiel Hemrich, who is on course. Unfortunately, fallen from that 360, but let's put our energy out here right now and try to get behind him, as he is going to maximize this 41 seconds that are left.
Yeah, Ezekiel stepping up. Was at the party last night because he didn't think he was going to be riding today. And then, shaking off any form of hangover and making it count. He finished 17th yesterday, currently sat in 9th place in the finals right now. Getting a second opportunity and taking that whip round the pocket.
Yeah, that pocket's so hard to do because you have to pull your body out and find that transition. And it looks like Easy is going to wind up waving that off right there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to put the pieces together in his second run exactly the way he wanted. Right now, he's just having a good time. Foot jam 180 over that street spine.
I think knowing probably he wasn't going to up that 70.25, once he kind of hung up on the Volcano as well, it was maybe game over. But there we go. We can see him kind of trying to throw that Smith 360 up.
Looked like a lot of pressure on his foot. I'm glad that he didn't tweak his ankle. He was able to get back in and foot plant over that hip. I love the backflip seat grab, a little bit of a toboggan, a little bit of a one-handed X-up. That trick's interesting because once you get past the 90 degrees on the seat, your bike can almost pop and push forward, but you got to stabilize the bike, and he did that by grabbing the seat in that backflip. Yeah. So that's what you said, that 70.25 will be his best effort of the day. The 39.25 will throw off to the side. But Ezekiel, we're hyped to see you out here in this final.
And also just want to give an update because I know people asking, concerned, sending good wishes. Jose Sedano is unfortunately not going to be riding again. As you saw, he seems to have hurt his leg, ankle on the trick he was doing over the Volcano. So yeah, he is going to be sitting out, going to get some medical attention. Stu Chisholm back in though. There's the bar spin to ice down the kinked rail.
Yes, Chisholm right now is locked in, getting for it. That bar spin to ice was a very big move. Charging back again, Hastings, England. The Source Park is going wild right now. Watching Chisholm as he does an off-axis flip over the box, tail whip into the far end. Charging back at us over that rainbow. I love the style right there. Checking in with the back of his seat as he gets his bike completely sideways. Come on, Stu, you got 18 seconds as he gets a nice fast plant, foot plant over the bubble. Cutting the corner to the left, manual. Got 10 seconds. 360 tail whip into the flare. He's got time for a final thought. Working it through. Back wheel boogie. And yes! That's how you do it. Stu Chisholm with a big run representing Hastings and the Source.
His first run, a 63.00. You see his best mate Joe there celebrating with him. Oh, he's going to be improving on that. Billy Perry as well. Shouts to you, legends. Back in Stu right now, messaging support his way. And I'm sure he felt that. Let's check out the highlights.
Love it. Drifting that back end over. You see he lands on his crank arm, but it was all about that bar spin to ice pick. Boom, top to bottom of the rail. He had that gap there. Then he did another crank arm, but first he checked in with his front peg. Here was that off-axis barrel roll as he spots the landing. And then he was able to kick that tail whip and utilize that big LHV quarter pipe over the spine, 360 tail whip, and then he was able to link it together, like you said. Back-to-back tricks can be very vital, but right here at the buzzer, he was showing the judges, hey man, I'm not winded, I'm in control, and I'm gonna put this thing in reverse. Chisholm right there, getting it done, and right there, Joe Jarvis, the wild man of Simple Session, coming out to say, yo, you crushed it, brother, and give him a big, well-deserved hug.
So perfect. Look at them, waiting to see the score come in.
For Stu Chisholm. All the boys and girls are
judges
right now from all around the world, but it's
punching it in right now. As we get into run number 2, things getting quite serious as to where people are going to finish up.
The Southern BMX scene very, very
Yeah, the score is going to be a very hard thing for the judges to figure out, because it's not only the riders' run on the course, but they have to see how does this fit in with all other 29 runs. And boom, an 82.75. That's going to bump Chisholm up into that 4th place spot.
A huge leap for Stu, was sat down in 12th, makes the leap to 4th, 82.75, improving on that 63.00. Wow, that is a huge move for Stu. Big love to him. But we head now to absolute fan and rider favourite, Mr. Boyd Hilder, dropping in on course. Run number 1 didn't exactly go the way he was hoping he can clean it up for run number 2.
First rider, boom, utilizing that shark fin on the Dorito. That definitely favors well in the judges' eyes, because this is a specific obstacle that you can't ride at your regular park. And he gets the Canadian clean this time. Right into the cannonball with a full stretched out Superman seat grab style, pulling the bike back. Double tail whip on the way up. He is looking good as he does a tooth hanger. Look at that, wedging into the Visit Estonia front wheel, finding his balance point in that magic sweet spot. Coming back at us, tooth hanger on the way up, and he grabs the transition. What? Backflip into a Smith grind. James, this is crazy.
My jaws hit the floor. Boyd Hilder is just a different Boyd from run number 1. He just seems so composed. He's in, even just, quickly throwing that whip in. It's just trick, banger after banger. Oh my God. What have we just seen, Darrell? And fully just turning it on the street section for the second half of his run as well, just showing I can absolutely rip both. He's a park winner and a street winner at previous Symbol Sessions, showing exactly why here at Symbol Session 2025.
Unreal. Boyd Hilder, the big man from Australia, tons of variety on the course. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's ridden this like nobody else, because look at that transfer, one-hand X, and he floats out into the box jump all the way to set up perfectly for this 360 triple bar spin over the island. And take a look at the Canadian foot jam. Walk in the line right there, balancing on that thin coping, full extension on that cannonball, but it was all in the street section where we haven't seen many other riders utilize. That's such a difficult front wheel balance point, goes backwards with the crooked grind, and take a look how he floats all the way up, and the attention to detail, he grabs the transition, and then watch the front peg. All eyes on his front right peg, backflip to a Smith grind. That was why afterwards he was holding up his hand saying, oh my gosh, I barely caught my front peg, but he definitely did.
So you know what as well, we were saying that, Boyd, he's qualified 13th. We maybe haven't seen the Boyd we expected to see until this run, and he's made it happen. He's down with Thule right now. Hear the crowds.
Boyd, I'm going to let you catch your breath a bit, because that was one hell of a run, but we were watching the reruns and I could see your face, and you are super happy with your run, aren't you?
Literally the whole time I was thinking about the Becky Smith. So when I come around and it just touched and I got to roll away, that's it, I'm happy. Full pole as well, I'll take it.
I mean, you are a multi-Simple Session champion, and we are very excited to see your score. How do you think you did?
I don't really care.
There you go, but you worst.
Wow, Boyd Hilder getting rewarded for that. 94.25, a new leader at Symbol Session 2025. Insane. You were saying yesterday in the qualifiers as well, he threw that back in, you were like, I think he wants to go for the Smith. There it is.
Wow, the rider right there saying, what do you think of the score? I don't even care. That's why he's won this thing 2 times before. He had some business to get done out on the park. He handled it, and as he said, full pull, utilizing the entire 60 seconds, and got that backflip to Smith.
Wow, unbelievable. Composing. Ourselves Miller Temple, though, coming in with the 1080. Getting a little bit squirrely, coming off the back on landing. I think he knows as well. I mean, Miller came out firing in run number 1. This is what we talked about earlier, where you can get that strong score on the board. He had a full pull in run number 1, and he was like, great, well, I'm sat on an 80. I'm going to need to bring out something huge if I want to improve on that score. It's probably not going to happen at this point. Is he going to wave it off, or is he going to try and come back in for the crowd? He's going to come back in for the crowd. That's what we like to see. Coming in for the 10. Yeah, fair play to Miller Temple. A good showing.
Much respect to Miller Temple. This is what we talk about, though. Risk versus reward. Some riders try to get that first score in, they get that first ride, and then they want to see, hey, how am I going to play it on my next cards in my second run? Temple right here, so committed. Look how pitched his body is to the side. Handlebars in the lap 3. 7, coming around for the 1080, spot in the landing, and then just too much juice getting loose, dumped off the back. Thankfully, he's okay. He had 2 attempts at it, so that's obviously going to be his throwaway at the 10, but that 80 he got was not too shabby at all, especially for his first time here at Simple Session.
Yeah, and a young rider as well, 19, so I'm sure this is not the last we've seen of Miller Temple. He's just getting started in his career, showing what he's got. Great to see him just trying to step it up and take it to the next level. I think probably quite inspired by the guys that have been pushing it today, getting up into those top 3 positions. This is one of the wildest finals I've had the pleasure of witnessing recently. Katie Ozawa coming out firing as well. It is coming off right now, Daryl.
Yeah, looking so good on that quarter pipe 3 times with the bars. Look at the height, though. That's what's really standing out as he looks back into her LHB hip. Over the bubble, 360 with the tail whip. Love the momentum. Tail whip at height, gets a little bit wild trying to refine his pedals. Looked like he went stage right pretty hard. Able to recover, cutting the left through the bull pocket. Comes back in with the toboggan over that box jump. Staying very focused in the park section. We saw Hilder, our current leader, utilize both sections of the course, and that favored extremely well with the judges. Let's see if he's going to stay on this side or if he's going to go into the streets. Throwing a quick bar spin. Pressing that front wheel down on the 180 to disaster. Quick back peg ice and a bar spin down to flat, and that is time for Katie.
Yeah, great run for Katie, 75.25 in run number 1. I am absolutely mind blown by the standard we are seeing right now. Everyone just seems to be on, Daryl. Checking out some of the highlights right now of Katie coming through. Yeah, cheeky T-bog on that tight little vert quarter. Yeah,
Love the height. How is it just 3 triple time, such height, and then bar spin, 360 downside tail whip, wrapping around that head tube, and then tossing the bars multiple times. While we wait for score to come in, I'm going to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Drew Bezanson, 5-time Simple Session champion. He is one of the kings of Estonia. I know that he is watching. If you want to be inspired by Drew Bezanson, give him a follow on his Instagram. We're all waiting for your return to come back to Estonia. We love you, Drew. He was in a car accident not too long ago, but he's pushing forward to get back on the bike and rehab. Everyone loves you, Drew. You are the most winning champion here at Simple Session, and we honored any time that you've graced us with your presence. Much love, Drew.
Yeah, do you know what? When I was coming through skating at Simple Session, I was just in awe watching Drew ride out here. He is kind of the king of Simple Session, really. Like, yeah, you just never knew what crazy drop-in he was going to bring. A wild rider for sure.
Yeah, and if you want to look back throughout the years at some of the many highlights of Drew Bezanson, check out on our YouTube channel. We've got everything categorized. And look at this, an 80.25. So that is a 5-point increase for Katie Ozawa. It's going to move him into that 7th place. But yeah, on our YouTube channel, we've got all 25 years of history that you could go check out and see some of the wild things that Drew Bezanson has done. But right now, we're looking for some more wildness out of this current 6th place rider from Latvia. Has an 82. He'd love to up the ante. Ernest Z. Bolds, the only rider in our final who is also an Olympian. We saw that 180 over the box jump backwards. We talk about it being a best run format. So we're going to see if Z. Bolds takes a similar approach and tries to up the ante with a few more tricks on that run.
Remember, he called as well. Do you know what? Fancy the 180 double bar. So we're going to see if he goes for that and where he goes for that.
So right there, tail whip over that hip, staying focused on the park section. 360 with the bar. Looks like he's trying to find his footing a little bit. Coming in. 3 with the tuck no-hander. Anytime he's going to that box jump, especially backwards, we are all waiting with bated breath to see what happens.
Okay, is this going to be it right here?
Here we go. Up. Yes!
That is outrageous to get it that perfect as well. It really doesn't show how hard that is to pull. Wow, Daryl, you're literally giving him basically a standing ovation here in the commentary booth.
Yeah, and listen, he did a single bar. I'm not taking away from it. He was the one who called double bar.
Yeah, right, exactly.
A 180 is crazy and hard enough. No other rider has done it. And you saw that he was having a little difficulty on the course in his run-up, and he still bars, full commitment. Double, but I'm giving it to you. Yeah, and I'll do that standing ovation for that 180 bar. So let's take a look right now as we go over the box jump, kicking that 3 times on that 360 whip. Unreal. Upper body is going around, and here we have that tuck no-hander, but we're all watching for the replay as he goes over that box backwards. Seabolds does have a lot of technical ability for those lip tricks. That's where a rider is on the edge of a ramp. He can do a lot of balance tricks, but right here he balances backwards, throwing the bars in that 180. Take a look, he spots the landing, and then just perfect re-entry. He does not have a free coaster on his bike. That means he has a traditional cassette. He has to have his cranks go faster than going back without pedaling, and Seabolds crushed it.
He's almost a victim of his own success on that one because he makes it look so chill. Landing backwards that straight and then just popping back round like that is absolutely wild. You can see now he's down with Thule. Let's see what his thoughts are on that second run.
Urs, you really cleaned up your run, didn't you? And you looked really happy when you cruised over here.
And this 180 bar too, so good.
You were getting a standing ovation from the crowd, and as I heard also from the box, also from Daryl. How does that make you feel?
It feels amazing. Thank you all.
Let's see how you score. What do you think? Lovely. There you go. Congrats.
So there we go, an improvement on his score, an 83.75. Not sure he's too happy with that score. He didn't seem too stoked, but you know what? 5th place in this field, in this final, is huge.
Yeah, that 180 bar spin, and also those white pants. I know he definitely made some fans with that right there. But now we're going to move it along to Jack Clark. As I mentioned, he's got a very bold style on and off the bike. He'll let you know his thoughts, and recently he's been spending his time in Beijing working with some of the future Chinese riders, helping them find their path in BMX. And what better rider than Jack Clark, who's got a lot of experience, especially here at Simple Session. We saw in run number 1, he went for that 900, had a little bit of difficulty. Let's see if he winds up picking that same trick selection, and that time throwing the bar spin from hitting his front peg on the quarter pipe. Come on, James!
Oh man, just goes down.
James, I wanted to see him get that.
He almost looked like he went bigger on that one as well. Here with a bit more speed to try and give himself more time to come round. Yeah, guts in. It looked like he was on for a great second run there.
Yeah, he turned things up. That's what we talked about, risk versus reward. He hit the underside of his front peg on that transfer, and he tossed the bars. That is so technical to do. And right now he's going back on the course. This is after time. This is for us out here, the fans. Oh!
Gets it done. Amazing
900. Foot slipping a little bit off the pedal, but I'll tell you this, I'm going to give it to him because there's not many people in the world that can do a 900. Let me see you do one of those bad boys, all right?
Exactly.
So 360, tossing the bars 2 times. And for me, the highlight of his run was that dark side front peg to bar on the transfer.
So, seeing some of his highlights. Yeah, there we go. Bonking that peg in, barring out. And then here we go, the first attempt. Yeah, definitely higher than run number 1 on that one. Looks like he just tried to give himself that little bit more time to get it round, but ended up pulling out, going off axis a little bit.
Big shout out to all the BMX legends around the world that are watching Simple Session right now. TJ Lavin and Jamie Bestwick are just 2 of the many pros that are cheering on right now. Jack Clark getting that 58.25. And you see him with the young gun rider, just 10 years old from Japan, a little protege.
Was crushing it yesterday. Jack coaching him out in China at the moment. But we move now to the Japanese rider, Joji Mizugaki. Sat in 12th at the moment, was second last year at Simple Session when we returned to Simple Session's home of Tartu, also in Estonia. That was his very first visit out here. And he's come straight back in 2025 for the 25th anniversary.
All right, that was some serious hot hands. From our perspective, that looked like a potential triple to X up. We're going to see that replay and broken down. Again, the judges have a very clear vantage point of how much is going on with the bar spins or the tail whips. You guys around the world who are watching on the many platforms, let us know what you saw in the chats, and James and I will do our best to call it. Coming back into the box jump right now, Joji letting things rip. We knew that was a 360 bar spin to one-hand X on the hip. Tuck no-hander. As you mentioned, he got second last year, and he'd love to be in that top spot on the podium. And the fact that he's taken a little page out of Boyd Hilder's book by utilizing some street, he knows that's what it's going to take to get a high score. Judges want to see these obstacles utilized. Hits that back peg as he comes out with 7 seconds to go.
Yeah, heading for that 540 over the spine, gets it done. That was the trick he dropped in run number 1. So Joji looking to improve on the 66.75. He just didn't quite get the weight right on the 5. Ended up on the floor in run number 1, and then absolute perfection in run number 2, taking that fake over the spine, landing completely blind.
All right, so I did call that one right. I got the eyes right. That was 3 bar spins around with the X up. And then, you know, right there, he's got that style redemption, the 1 hand, 1 foot table, just laying her over right there. And he's such a well-rounded rider. So you can see that even the way that he had that 540 in there at the end. And I got to agree with you guys, Japan does have some of the best style, that 1-footed tape. And look at this, the 1.5 circles over the spine, landing in fakie. Nice, clean exit.
Joji Mizugaki qualified in 8th. He's sat in 12th right now. We're going to see what his score comes in at. I mean, it is going to be an improvement. Is it enough to push him up that leaderboard? Ezekiel Helmreich in front of him with a 70.25. I'm sure he'd love to bump ahead of him.
Such a difficult job for these judges. They got to see how this all fits in together. They really putting the energy out there, right? We want to see. He's in 12th, wants to move up if possible. As you mentioned, he's got to be in the 90s to be on a podium. 90.12 or better. But our judges really put a lot of effort out there. I know sometimes it could be a little controversial in the BMX world, hey, who's getting what score? But they take detailed notes, and an 87.62. So it's a big improvement. You see that head nod of approval. It's going to put him 5th outside of that podium, but still an impressive spot.
Yeah, definitely it's not the podium that he made last year, but incredible. I mean, I'm going to keep saying it. The standard of this final has been ridiculous so far. We have more runs to come, of course, so we'll see where he ends up. But right now, up into 5th place. A great showing for Joji Mizugaki. We're going now, though, to Levi Wiedmann.
Yeah, but these judges put such an emphasis on it. And anytime any rider questions or asks the judges, they can back up their decisions.
The cleanest 10 as well. It was definitely, I'm going out, I'm saying it was a 10. There's the front flip into the street as well. Yeah, throwing the bars there too. Nice, that can kind of 450 transfer there.
As we mentioned, 2020 was his last Simple Session appearance of the last 5 years. He's put in some homework out here. Whoa! That was awesome. He wrapped around the head tube after throwing the bar spin right there, meeting the pedals. No problems on that double tail whip. Yes. Levy with that heavy 5 right there, coming back at us. Can step through. Gonna give a little nod to Simon Tabron. That almost looked like his silhouette style as he floated. And I say that because Tabron is some of the cleanest can-cans in BMX on quarter pipes. Here we go, bar spin over. Double time in that 360. Final thoughts, backwards, bar spin. Oh, trying to get that fakie right there. Not able to get that final pop, but...
What a run. what a run. I feel like everyone just getting so inspired right now. So here we go. We get the Mega Motion. 1, 2, 3 rotations. A super clean 10. And there's that front flip that I love over the bubble into the street course. That Kangang kind of 450 over the hip.
This was so cool. Wrapping around that head two, meeting the bike right in the middle. That 540 above railing, hard to do. That's basically a vert ramp. And you can see pumping the fists to the air right there. Fans definitely psyched on Levy.
Tell you what, I'm very glad.
Last time you were here was 5 years ago, and now you're back here in the finals, and you had a pretty good run. And how's your simple session experience so far?
It's good to be back. Oh, it was a long time ago. I'm still out of breath.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you catch your breath and while we wait your score.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You improved your run. Well done, good job.
An 81.67 for Levi Wiedmann. Puts him into 8th place. Just shows that standard of riding. Man, the judges have got a hard job right now. Slotting the guys in, you're rewarding the riding, but it's all just such a crazy standard across the board. We move to our 6th place qualifier, Santiago Laverde from Colombia. Just a great energy, a big smile. He's loving being out here. Run number 1, maybe not quite where he wanted it to be, 64.25. Let's see what he can do in run number 2.
We know that his mom right now is tuned in, cheering on Santiago. So he gets that nice 270 can over the hip. He's another rider who's got that ability to blast out of those quarter pipes with that one-hand flatty. I love the style, especially kicking that downside tail whip. The way that he just had the bike float up and levitate and met the pedals. Double bar spin. James, he almost had some difficult, but almost being the key word because he's back on it. Bar spin out of that double peg grind. Yes, crank arm down. Remember, run number 1, he had some difficulty going over the A-frame on that crank arm slide. Let's see if he tries it again. Ice pick on that second stage. All right, all eyes on that A-frame. Let's see if he comes back at us. His right crank arm on, up, and
So hard to shift the weight on that. It is a lot steeper than it looks as well. That was the trick he really wanted. Are we going to see him go back and get it? Yeah, he looks like he's hustling to come back through once. Another hit. Here we go, let's see. It's a big old A-frame rail.
come on, Santiago. This one is just for us, the fans out here. The judges are not putting this towards his score. Yeah!
Oh man. Just couldn't straighten back up. Lands 90 degrees to the rail. Tapping the Skate Pro logo as well. Doing it for Odyssey, showing love to his sponsors, the crowds. Well, let's check out some of his highlights from run number 2, Darren.
While we watch this, I'm going to give a shout out to Reed Stark, another Simple Session rider. He's not here with us this weekend, but something that he's always talked about when it comes to long grinds at the event, like we're seeing on this crank arm attempt, it's so difficult and risky because if you don't get that balance point, your whole run could be thrown off. If you're used to doing, let's say, a jumping trick or a combo in the air, it's not as hard as something of finding that sweet spot. That's why sometimes you don't see a long ice grip grind, or in this case, a crank arm slide. So I got to give it up for him for going for it. A 65.50, a second run will be the best effort, but I'm tipping my hat to Santiago Laverde for going for a really hard trick, and unfortunately it didn't pay off for him in either of his runs.
Yeah, so Matt Ray, someone who had a killer first run, but testament to how wild the finals are right now. He finds himself sat in 11th place. Where can he go? No stranger to a podium at Simple Session, and we'd love to see him manage to get back up there. He was just firing tricks left, right, and center in jam in run number 1. So let's see what he brings for number 2.
We're going to see a little bit of that strategy potentially play out here. Matt Ray, we talk about the power of his bunny hops. And this time he's already turning things up. He had the bar spin on that bunny hop 270 and a bar spin to foot jam. So 2 tricks. He's cranked the knob up a little bit more. Look at that big stretched out Superman right there. I know TJ Lavin loves to see some of those jumping tricks, including that suicide no-hander on the way up and a double bar spin. James, we are seeing Matt Ray right now crank the volume, knowing what it could potentially take to get in that top spot. Opposite tail whip, Smith going up to 360 and a flare. This is an enormous run for Matt Ray so far.
So this was where last time we saw him move over to the street course and just go trick after trick after trick. There's the 540 with the bar spin. And he's doing much the same again, but he has turned the level up a notch. Heading back down that step up. Yeah, there's the Smith 180, and is he going to go back down the king rail? No, he's heading up for something else to finish.
Tooth hangover and a flare after the buzzer, but that was an action-packed 60 seconds. The Unibet Arena right now is showing the appreciation for the Boston rider from the Northeast, Matt Ray, who 2 times has come in second place at Simple Session and would love to be in the top podium. As we watch the highlights, think about this. Will this be enough to beat out Boyd Hilder? Bar spin to foot jam. Boyd had the Canadian foot jam on that same quarter pipe, but Ray threw in the bar spin. They both rode in the streets and the park. A Smith to 360. Boyd did the backflip to Smith grind. They are firing hits to back and forth. Bar spin, crooked grind going backwards. His first run, he did not have that bar spin. Matt Ray took the volume and just tweaked that knob all the way up.
Can I say as well, the live chat is going off right now. Thule is down with him. Let's see what score comes in.
Matt Ray, let's talk about leveling up. I mean, what was that?
I messed up like second trick in, but we kept it going, so I'm psyched I finished strong. I'm happy with it.
So you've been on a podium a few times at Simple Session. Is this what you're going after right now? Because we're about to see a score.
I know. We'd all love to be on podiums, so I mean, if it happens, cool, but regardless, I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's see how the judges are. Right? Coming up now. Oh. Well, we still need to wait a little bit, so let's talk about the general Simple Session as well. What have you been up to off the course?
Going to Vapiano's, of course. Probably in there like 8-9 times since I've been here, but other than that, just hanging with the boys. It's been fun.
And the score is about to come in, so let's see.
Ooh, I'm nervous.
Oh, there you go. Huge improvement.
I'm happy with that.
Well done, Matt.
So we see that a big leap for Matt Ray. It isn't into the top 3, but it is from 11th up to 4th place at 89.25. Breaking into that podium. Such a hard job to do right now. Insane. And we aren't going to see Jose Sedano. As mentioned earlier, he is injured, getting checked out by the medics right now. So, yeah, all of the good vibes that you can please send his way would be great. This guy sat in 5th, Dylan Hesse. He was right up there for a minute, sat in face, but he's now down in 5th. We've seen some incredible runs ever since, so he's going to see if he can get back up into those podium positions.
So now we're going to see a totally different style than Matt Ray. Dylan Hesse in his first run was definitely more park focused. He was just bumped from 4th to 5th. Matt Ray is sitting in that spot, and 88.25 was Dylan's first run. Into the box jump. Whoa!
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he went triple bar there, just not managing quite to get it done, slipping, but he's getting straight back in. Dylan watching this, knowing that he's got to absolutely go for it to improve on his score if he wants to get into podium position.
Yeah, double bar spin, coming back into a Red Bull vert quarter, flare at very big height. Kicking a double whip over that roller. Going through its opposite direction to set up for that 360 X-up. Oh! Big flare tail whip. Charging back down, bar spin, double time over the island, catching the transition clean. He's got 15 seconds. These are going to be important moments. Double flare, and he pulls it clean. That was mind-boggling. with the Mind Melter into a flare invert at height. He knew it needed to come down to something big.
Oh my word! What we just see? This final is blowing my mind. Run after run, Daryl. Huge trick at the end. Do you think the slip in the pedals on the opening trick is going to hurt him too much there?
I don't know. It comes down to the full 60 seconds. Earlier, we saw that there was other riders penalized for having a crash in their run, and they didn't get a very high score. Jack Clark was the rider in particular. He got not a full pull, and it was negatively impacted. But take a look at the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
4 in there.
4 times.
So was the 4, obviously. Yeah, just struggling to get that round, but look at the comeback he made.
And then that flare tail whip. And as we get ready to watch that double flare, I'm going to give a shout out to the late, great Kevin Robinson, one of the riders who had that double flare on lock. His son, K-Rob Jr., is here riding and qualifying, and he has perfect execution as he hits the pop button, spots over his shoulder, and cleanly rolls away. So we're seeing our heavyweights get into that ring and just try to swing those haymakers and connect with the big combos.
It does feel like maybe dropping that foot could hurt him, but we are about to see he's down with Thule now.
Absolutely mad final. I mean, I'm scared to see what everyone is pulling out. That double flare was crazy. What's your own take on your second run?
I've never double flared on a bank before, so that's the first time that I've seen it done. So I thought I'd just pull out the bag since everyone's thrown down, so why not?
That's amazing. I mean, give it up to Dylan. This is crazy.
Yeah, thank you. The crowd's been amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up with Simple Session. Absolutely amazing comp from you.
Okay, we are still waiting for his run to score to drop in.
I just want to be clear, he's never done a double flare before on his BMX bike?
No, he's never done it on a bank before. So that, I'm certain that's what he said.
Okay.
Otherwise, that was way too good.
Okay.
I understood he'd never done it on a bank before.
I'm glad for you clarifying, because that was insane. That was crazy clean and so good executing. You've got that ability to pick up on his accent a little better than my New York, Brooklyn butchering words over here. You've got a little bit of that UK flair and flavor.
Way too good, surely, to be his first ever, but still on a bank like that, it's a very different transition and takeoff. And he doesn't improve. So we talk about slipping the pedals on the opening trick. Oh, the judge is marking him down for that. Did suspect it might hurt him a little bit, but wow, I did think it would be an improvement. So the best he's going to do out here is 5th. Rim Nakamura to go next. Well, that will be 5th for Dylan Hesse. The only person, or the only 2 people, should I say, that can take it away from Boyd Hilda right now are Rim Nakamura and Jordan Clark. Our 2 final riders left to drop, all 3 of them on podium right now. So your podium is confirmed. We just don't know in which order at this moment in time. Rim not a million miles away, just 2 points off Boyd Hilda. Can he do it?
And back in 2020, yes! Back in 2020, when Rim Nakamura got first place, he actually beat out Boyd Hilda. So they're both trying to get in that top spot here today. The only question is, will Boyd remain on top? Or right now, Nakamura with Japan Airlines going down.
It was going so well for him as well. But it just shows he knew exactly where he was going to need to go to take Boyd out. And it just shows the standard of Boyd's run. That second run from Boyd, like, I'm going to be rewinding that for years to come. I feel like, next year we're going to be back here and we're going to be like, remember what Boyd did last year?
And the good thing is, give us a follow and a like on our YouTube page, The Simple Session 1, and you can see all the highlights from this year and many other. Take a look at the bars. 1, 2, 3. Into a clicked turn down. That was totally tweaked. I love that. Bar spin to the tuck no-hander. Look at the 720 bars in the lap. I still can't believe he did 3 bar spins into a turn down. And right there, you see, it just comes in back heavy, double bar spin around, and then just loops right out, unfortunately.
Yeah, just 2 over the back end. So he's going to stick with that 92.25. He was giving it everything he had. Big smile on his face still though, thanking the crowds for all the love. The vibe here in the arena is absolutely wild. Yeah, 42.75 as suspected. So the best rim Nakamura can do today is second. The person that could upset it all is Jordan Clark right now, our first place qualifier. He's seen everyone else ride. He has the privilege of getting to watch everyone. He knows he is at the very least finishing on the podium in third place, so he must feel the pressure's off right now and he can just absolutely send it. Boyd Hilda watches on with bated breath, or I say with bated breath. Boyd is as chill as they come, isn't he? So he's going to be happy either way. He just wants to see great riding out there.
I think it's going to determine how hard he parties on the dance floor, right? So we'll see.
100%. Excited to see him there later, you know.
But these are the moments right here. The 94.25 or higher is going to be needed by Jordan Clark. This is his first simple session showing he was our #1 qualifier. So technically, if one rider could do it and bump Boyd Hilder out or Rim Nakamura, it would be Jordan Clark. Yes, clean over the box. Double tail whip at height, might I add. Look at the hot hands of the 360 with the bars over the box backwards. Setting up. Yes, he's got that brief flip right there. Just kicks it around. Coming back in. Wow, I believe that was 3 times on the whip into our street section. Flair with the tail whip. His background is in scootering. That's why we're seeing some different tricks that are translating to BMX riding. Bar spin on the way down. James, he's got that 540.
There we go, coming back over the A-frame. Obviously, someone who leans much more into the transition side of things. Pegless rider out here. So, yeah, getting that 540 flare. We're not going to see him hit the rails like Boyd, so he knows that he needs to bring absolute fire. Oh, my word, Jordan Clark, what are you doing? This final, I'm done. I'm ready to go home.
Talk about putting an exclamation point on the end of your run. Jordan Clark, we're seeing that double flare, this time on that vert quarter pipe. That was different than Dylan Hesse's, who was on that embankment. Keep in mind, Jordan Clark did not slip a pedal or have a crash at all during his run. We know that could be negatively favored with the judges. Take a look, traditionally a scooter trick, a brie flip, however you want to call it, tomato. The one thing to note, those tail whips coming around on top of the bubble. Here's a front flip. It's untraditional to do that up that step up, turning around on the gut face mural. Here's that 540 flare, and then it's all about this last finishing move. Boom! Double backflip with the 180. Clean re-entry.
Absolutely outrageous. You know, just as I was talking about the fact he's pegless, so he's not going to be able to kind of hit those rails in the same way that Boyd did. He then pulls out the double flare. Just goes, yeah, cool, I hear you, James. Let me show you what's up. This is going to be crazy. Kind of 2 very different approaches to the course. Let's see how he feels after run number 2.
I've been drinking all weekend. More than that.
Mad final. I think everyone can agree with that. And now it's between these 2 guys. It's either Jordan or Boyd. I know Boyd just said before that you don't care what the score is, but everyone else seems to care. So let's see how the judges judge you. With you, I mean, that was...
I'm just happy to be here and yeah, to come away with a podium on my first simple session is unreal. So I'm so stoked to get that double flare at the end as well. I've not even practiced it. And yeah, shout out to my family watching at home.
Very cute, thank you. Boyd, let's go for you. I mean, while we're waiting for the score, what is your take on the finals run?
Double flare on a buzzer. He's a mad rider. That was insane. Respect.
Okay, you know, simple session is all about the brotherhood as well, so everyone's keep on saying, oh, there you go, Boyd! You are the 3rd time simple session champion. Woohoo! Hilder Simple Session 2025 champion. Give it up to Boyd.
Thanks for coming out. This is epic.
I mean, do you want to say something to the crowd and the fans? Because you absolutely killed it. Everyone killed it. It was a mad, mad final, wasn't it?
Yeah, thanks for cheering. I can hear you out there. Thanks for the love.
Yeah, congrats on your win. And yeah, do you have any other comments to everyone watching back at home?
To the guys at home, just waking up. Hope you get on the beers with me.
Amazing. You have a lot of beers on your shirt, so I hope you celebrate tonight.
Yeah, go and pack the bike up, have a shower, maybe a couple treats, you know.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Boyd, and congrats once again.
Daryl, I'm going to say that is one of the wildest Simple Session finals we have ever seen. What are your thoughts after that?
Unreal riding from all of our finalists, but Boyd Hilder really maximizing this Nate Wessel design course. We saw all different obstacles that he wound up hitting. I love that Canadian foot jam. He used all of the rails. The backflip, the Smith grind you saw after his run, he was holding it up saying, I just barely got my front peg on, and that's what it comes down to be a Simple Session champ. Grace under pressure, big ups to Boyd. And we also saw two double flares, unreal as it wound up breaking down. Let's take a look at some of the many highlights here from Rimu Nakamura, who came in third place. Over that box jump, he looked so control and dominant. He's got that 270 double tail whip going around, kicking the downside 360 double whip, spots his pedals so clean and so smooth. But all of a sudden now in our second place finisher, Jordan Clark, his first Simple Session over that box. You see the way he's able to spot the landing. He used different style than Boyd Hilder. He put some of his jumping tricks in places you normally wouldn't find, like that front flip in the street section, and then that double flare on the vert quarter was so buttery smooth. He spotted the landing, doing that at the end of the 60 seconds. You're exhausted and gassed out. But right now, look at the highlights of Boyd Hilder, the only rider we saw utilize that Doritos shark fin. He had that nice transfer with the one-handed X up. Here's a look at that backflip. He lands in a Smith grind. That's his back tire on the ledge. His peg hits and he's holding it up right there, saying, I just barely got it, but when